Alrighty, welcome back for this next week of the Fortnite League for XPL Madison. This time we are starting on time, which is a very good sign. As you can see, we have Taco Time, we have Nightmare, we have Hexy, 1X, and we have J-Maker all getting into the lobby here. These past couple of weeks have been some very, very short games for them, but I think they have formulated some new strategies. Hopefully those work out for them. I know they have been hard at work at practice these past couple of weeks as well, and we shall see if they're able to make something happen this time. Moving over to the Eagles side, looks like they are a little bit low on numbers for today. We have Swim and Clutch MJ. See if we can actually clutch it out this time, because they don't appear to have a full squad at the moment. Game shall be starting very shortly here. Looks like 9 seconds until the start, or until the bus ends up launching here, and so we will be able to get right into the action very shortly here. Alright, and looks like haven't had too much deciding factor. Taco Time right off the bat gets out of the vehicle. Nightmare also moving out as well. Looks like they're going to go off to the far left side of the map here. Moving over to the Eagles stream. Looks like they're actually going to the same exact spot, which might prove to be a little bit of a friendly competition between both Madison teams here. I would hate to have to commentate from both sides, as I want both of our teams to place very high, so hopefully they go in slightly different locations here. Moving back over to the Marvel side, looks like they are going all the way out to the edge of the map here. Taco Time is the first one to land, along with Hexy right after him. They are still quite a bit spread out, but they should be able to take advantage of getting more loot faster by being a little bit more spread out. Looks like Taco Time does find Hexy as well over here with the car. Got those big off-road tires ready for the picking, and looks like Taco Time is being attacked by a wolf. I didn't even know that those were in the game, but they are, and it's attacking Taco Time. Let's go to his perspective. Looks like he didn't get too much damage done to him. Now he's got the truck to go with it as well. And looking at Nightmare here, looks like his stream connection is a little bit laggy, but you can see that he still does have perfect FPS on his end. Just from our perspective, it is going to be a little choppy, it seems. And J-Maker, moving over to him, looks like he is making some deals with some of the NPCs, trying to figure out what they're doing. Maybe doing some clay pigeons. Might be a little bit distracted by the goal of the game here. But moving over to the Eagles, looks like they are also doing a fairly chill start to begin here, as opposed to these last couple of weeks have definitely not been in their favor. Looks like they actually do have 3 people there, but just one of the streams is not working for them. So we'll see how that turns out for them. I am glad to hear that they at least have 3 and not half of their team, as that would be a major detriment for them indeed. Moving back over to the Marvels here. Not much to be said about the Marvels. Looks like they are relatively close together. Some of them are a little spread out apart. It looks like Taco Time, well, no, I think it's Hexy is the one who is far apart. Kind of hard to tell, but I think he is the one that is not with the rest of the group. The rest of them are in that truck, looking to go. They have actually 2 trucks and a car here. Oh, and they do see someone here in another vehicle, and they're going to lay down some shots Moving a little bit to a bigger screen here for Taco Time. We'll focus on his performance first. We saw that he got a couple of shots in here. Now the Wolf is back for vengeance, but there is no chance against this Marbles team. They did get a little bit of meat out of it so that Taco Time can heal. It looks like not much else is going on at the moment for the Marbles. I think they kind of let the other team go. They were in a truck, so it's kind of difficult to chase them down unless they get into some of their own. It looks like they're going to go take the taxi on those big wheels and try to track down Hexy here, because Hexy did get eliminated here as he was so far away from the rest of his team. Looks like they're rolling their car a little bit here. Hopefully they can get it righted. There we go. And they're going to go try to get that reboot card from Hexy to try to revive him for later in this game. That's going to be imperative for them. While they do that, let's move over to the Eagles side. Once again, it doesn't look like they got too much going on for them. Clutch MJ did get injured a little bit, so they might have had a little bit of a scuffle there. Doesn't look like any eliminations from their team though, so it might have just been one of the NPCs as well. Moving back over to the Marvels. Looks like they're still trying to get that reboot card. They have 35 seconds, so they do have quite a bit of time to get over here. They have 2 cars with the big wheels now, but it's still proving quite difficult to traverse some of this terrain. But they are here at the moment, and they're going to try to get that reboot card before it expires so they can get Hexy 1X back, which will be an absolutely necessary thing for later in this game when they'll be facing teams of full people. And it looks like they're actually going to take advantage of the Slurpy Swamp, and get some of those shields, or some of that health back that they lost from the Wolf. And also take a little bit of an inventory. They did get his reboot card, so now I just need to go find a reboot station, which is actually, there's one right there. It looks like they do actually get Hexy back. So you can see he is back in the action. While he did make a little bit of a misplay being so far away from his team, it ended up not being too bad of a mistake and was rectified by the rest of his team by reviving him. So now they're back up to full strength, and it looks like they're going to stay in the swamp a little bit longer. You can see that it very, very slowly increases their shields here. So if they stay there for 100 seconds, they will get that full 100 shield back. Whether they want to stay here for that long, they have the option to. The next time the storm moves is not for another 120 seconds here, or not 120 seconds, 1 minute and 20 seconds. And so they do have quite a bit of time here. Looks like Hexy is once again making some more deals. Let's go over to the Eagles stream, see if they're doing anything exciting at the moment. Looks like they are just making their way across the map, getting towards the circle a little bit closer so that they're not going to be stuck in the storm once it starts moving again. Looks like they are pretty good in terms of loadout here. You can see that Swim does have one of those gold weapons. Might be a little bit difficult to see since they are in this split screen view over at Edgewood for the Eagles. But it looks like the Marvels did also move along. If we go take a look at what they're doing at the moment, they are back in their car, except for Hexy. Somehow is not in a car again. But they are going... Looks like Hexy is going to get hit by the storm. So his teammates should probably come... Well, no, he did get out of the storm, so he is all set. So Hexy's trying to catch up with the rest of the team. If we go over to his perspective, you can see that there are 37 players left in the map at the moment. So already the Madison team is lasting longer than before. Looks like Hexy did get picked up by one of his teammates. Might have been J-Maker, I believe. Yep. And so J-Maker and Hexy will be going to catch up with the rest of the team once again. Trying to get over these rocks. These tires, though, don't know what they're made of, but apparently they can climb straight up a cliff, which is proving to be pretty useful for getting over this dam. Going to pick up Nightmare as well. Oh, and they do see another team here, and J-Maker's going to not shoot a shot. Oh, you see some shots fired. A couple of shots go in. Looks like looks like Taco Time did not like that car and sends it over into the water. And J-Maker using this bow and arrow to get some shots in. It does a lot of damage and is pretty accurate as well. You can see 68 damage there onto the shields. So Madison's going to take this long-range engagement. We saw last season that these players really favored those close engagements, but when we're talking about a battle royale like this where the rounds are so long and any mistake could land you in a bad position, they want to be taking this pretty carefully here. J-Maker is still taking his shots. Hexy, on the other hand, is getting a little bit closer here, trying to get some materials. He doesn't have a whole lot. Get a couple shots in, but he's only got 9 health and no materials to build either. But the rest of his team do come in, and they get 2 knocked down. The rest of the team, Nightmare coming in there hot, helping out his team, trying to get this last person eliminated here. But he is ring around the rosy for sure. Ooh, and he does get knocked down. J-Maker is going to have to come to the rescue here, as well as Taco Time is right in the thick of it as well. But, ooh, and he is down to 10 health. He does get knocked down, so it's all up to J-Maker to save the last remaining amount of his team. There's only a couple left. See if J-Maker can do it. You can see him right down there. Ooh, but he does get shot pretty heavily with that shotgun. Ooh, but he does get that knockdown. But the storm is here, though, and I am not sure what they're going to be able to do about this one. He's got 5 health left, 4. He's not going to live through this storm whatsoever, that is for sure. And they do get eliminated there. They did win that engagement, though, and got a few eliminations. Placed 7th, which is not too shabby. But they do get knocked down by the last remaining player on that last team. And so with that, we'll move back over to the Eagles. It doesn't look like they just got into their first engagement as well, so we'll take a look at that. Swim also taking advantage of the crossbow to get those long-range shots in. But the storm is moving in shortly, so they're going to have to make an effort to get up on top of that hill to be in a position where they can just rain shots from above. Looks like Swim does box himself in right at the edge of the storm. And giving some of those shields to Clutch MJ, or not Clutch MJ, well, the Chef Yeti, I believe, will be that other teammate, but he is playing remotely, so we don't get his perspective this game around, but getting the rest of his team all healed up here, and they're right at the edge of the storm, so they're going to have to move again. But that being said, they are in a safe spot at the moment, so they're taking a breath, and they will end up moving out pretty soon here, I would imagine. Yep, and there they go off towards the center. They have 34 seconds until this storm moves again, so it's really a race against the clock. This last circle is going to be like one of the final movements here. You can see only 11 players left since the last time we checked. Over, I believe, 16 people ended up being eliminated between this time and last time we checked. So a lot of actions happened. The 3 Madison players from the Eagles are still alive and healthy with a very decent loadout indeed. And you can see Clutch MJ and Swim have plenty of materials. We saw Swim's number one advantage in these games is his ability to build extremely fast. He is probably one of the fastest builders that I've seen in XP League, so we'll see how he uses that to his advantage in order to help his team. It looks like they're going to Retail Row over here, which is inside of the circle. You saw a little bit over there to their, I believe to their west location was some other team members from some other team that they do have to be careful about. But it looks like they're going to stock up inside of this house at the moment around the Retail Row. The element of surprise is nothing to scoff at. You need to have that element in order to take advantage of some of these fights, especially getting the first high ground advantage will be extremely useful for the Eagles here. So we'll see how they choose to engage the next team that they fight. Like I said, taking it a little bit more slow. Learned their lesson from the last couple of weeks where they would get eliminated right off the bat. Just by a matter of luck, the other teams would end up getting better weapons than them, and at that point they don't really have a chance in the beginning there. So they chose the safe route, and it looks like it is definitely paying off for them. You can see Clutch MJ trying to sneak through the wall here. You can, while you were editing, you can sort of see through the walls, and so a lot of players will use that to their advantage to basically peek without having to expose themselves to getting shot. And the new circle has been outlined. You can see they're not quite in it, so they're going to have to move once again. And it looks like they're going to like to do that right now. They have 26 seconds till the storm starts moving again. So it is definitely beneficial for them to move right now, so that when the rest of the teams start moving, that they will have the home ground advantage. That being said, they are bound to meet some other teams here. Not entirely sure how many total teams are left, but you do see that there are 10 players remaining, so they're going to have to eliminate 6 of those or 7 of those in order to win this first round here. And just a reminder, while we have a short pause, the scoring system is they take the best score of the 2 rounds. And hold up, we got some engagements here. Swim and Clutch MJ are hiding behind this tree, but it's not going to last forever. It looks like they're going to start moving up. They don't have the high ground advantage, but with Swim being such a great builder, I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot. He can just build up there super fast. Does get one shot on him, but it wasn't a very big shot, so it looks like they're using either like assault rifles or an SMG to try to poke him down here. It looks like Clutch MJ trying to move the front line a little bit forward here. They do need to get a little bit further into the circle before they're safe. So that's exactly what they're gonna do. Oh, and a little bit of lag there for a second, but Swim taking advantage once again of that editing ability to see through blocks while you're editing. And they're going to create quite a fortress here, using a little window as an escape route to try and fool the enemy team. But it looks like they don't want any of Madison's heat right now, and they might have retreated a little bit here, and so Madison might end up moving forward. Oh, and you can see Swim there using that peek to see where the enemy is, probably calling him out to the other teammates here so that they know exactly where the enemy is. Ooh, and Swim tried to get in there, but it just wasn't enough, and he gets launched backwards. And so he's going to have to get back to his team, which he does. I don't know if they're going to have the time to heal him up here, but they might. It looks like Clutch MJ is going to revive him here. The storm is coming in, and it's going to do a lot of damage. I don't think he can do it, so he's going to leave Swim there because he was about to be eliminated. And now it is just Clutch MJ and Chef Yeti against 8 total players, so I guess 6 other players, so probably at least 2 teams here are still in it. And Clutch MJ does have that high ground advantage right now, so doing very well in that regard. And they are right at the edge of the storm. Unfortunately, they didn't begin the base of their structure inside the circle, so they're kind of hanging over the edge. And so at any moment, they could have that structure be broken, and they're going to fall quite a ways here. Well, you can see Clutch MJ shooting a few shots there, get 32 onto the shields. But there's a fire going on his structures. One disadvantage of using the wood instead of any of the brick stuff, but he's trying to save that for the rest. Moving closer to Clutch MJ's perspective here, we can see that he is really getting in there, still getting that high ground advantage though. And you see that the storm is going to move once again, so they're going to have to transfer locations once again with Chef Yeti. You can see that the other team is tunneling a little bit. Ooh, but they do break through the top, and they get a few really nice shots in. And I know it is very difficult to follow what's happening, but they do fall a little bit too far. There's someone shot underneath their feet, and so now it's just Yeti, and it looks like they do. Chef Yeti is the only one alive. He has literally 1 health, so this is going to be quite a difficult task for him, and he does get eliminated right there. But the Madison Eagles placing second this time, doing much better than last week, that is for sure. And with this game of this first round of Fortnite over with, we will be right back with that second game. Alrighty, welcome back to the second match of the day for the gold Fortnite teams. Going from the perspective of the Madison Marbles to begin with here. And of course, we will also follow the Eagles as well. They did very well last time, so hopefully we get some top performances from both teams once again here. The bus is set to leave in just a few moments. And there we go. The bus has departed from the station, and once again, Madison's team's going out right off the bat. They want to get to the ground first, it appears, which is definitely a good strategy, because if they get down first, they will be able to get those weapons a lot faster, and hopefully no one else is going to try and contest them here. Go over to the Eagles side, and they also ended up moving to a little bit farther of a location. The two teams are definitely going to be on opposite sides of the map this time around, which is probably not a bad thing for Madison. You can see that the Marbles just touched down, Hexy being the final one to make contact with the ground. And thankfully, I don't think that there's many other players here. You can see some are trying to drop. Ooh, and Hexy does take a little bit of damage there. And Taco Time is actually taking a few shots as well. Let's go over to his perspective. He's the one with the weapons. He already has a blue shotgun, a very nice find to begin this game with. It does not appear that he got that elimination. Oh, and there's someone right here. Gets a couple of shots in. He has no shields. You can see already on the white, and he does get one knockdown right there. So Taco Time right off the bat getting one of those eliminations. And it looks like J-Maker also ended up getting one at the same time. Nightmare did. My apologies. And so Madison is off to a good start. That is for sure, as they begin their trek here. So the fact that they got that first elimination right off the bat is very good, not only for the fact that they didn't die, obviously, but also because they get all of their weapons that they found as well. So a lot less time searching and more time finding the next spot. It looks like J-Maker already with one of the cars, it looks like. And it looks like they're going to make a push for another side of the map. I like the style that they are going here. And actually, moving over, we can see that J-Maker just eliminated someone as well in a car. Ooh, but actually gets eliminated himself by the fire. And so the rest of his team is going to have to get him out of there before he burns up too much. While they are dealing with that, we'll move over to the Eagles. Ooh, and it looks like not too much going on at the moment for the Eagles. They are playing it nice and safe like before. And so we will we'll check back in with them. Hopefully they don't encounter anything too crazy. Madison teams, the Marbles are still doing some building stuff, but they do run into another team here. Ooh, wow. Taco Time with that massive shot, with another shot as well to get that elimination. Madison Marbles are playing extremely well right now. Got that elimination, which means that they probably eliminated the rest of their team now. And if we go to that split person view, you can see that Nightmare is actually in a little bit of trouble here. Move to his perspective, see how he's doing as well. But he's got the rest of his team here around him, so he does get knocked there. But the rest of the team is around. Taco Time along the outskirts. He's getting shot himself and does get run over by the car. And the Madison team quickly goes from winning that engagement to being eliminated. Their Must have been a lot of people dropping there, but they did get quite a few eliminations to start off with there. So not a shabby run, that is for sure. We'll have to see which run they ended up doing better in, but I have to guess that it was this one just because of those eliminations they got in the beginning. You see Taco Time just by himself got 2. Nightmare looks like got 1. J-Maker already exited out, so I can't see his anymore, but they did get quite a few there. Let's move over to the Eagles side once again, see how they're doing. They went much farther away from the starting area, so they're most likely not going to find anyone very soon at all. So we shall see when exactly they will be meeting the other teams here. And you can see that there are quite a few players remaining. There are still 40 players left on the map, and so we have a little bit of ways to go before the Storm really starts putting the pressure on these players. Clutch MJ finding that bow again. Perhaps going to use some crafting here and upgrade it to a primal stink bow. Not really sure what that'll do, but it's got to be better. And everyone from the Eagles looks like they're collecting a bunch of materials. You see Swim there with almost more than 600 wood, 300 brick. That's a lot of materials to be using. Clutch MJ with a little bit less with 225. But with Swim being the main builder for their team composition, it makes sense for him to spend all of that time trying to get those materials. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a task to do there, but we're back, and you can already see that Swim and Clutch MJ and the Chef Yeti are cleaning up over here, getting a bunch of eliminations, putting in a lot of work. They are in the storm at the moment, so they're going to have to move a little bit closer. But that being said, they do have a lot of resources up to them. Look, they have the med kits as well. They could stay in here basically as long as they wanted to. The storm doesn't do that much damage yet. It's only doing 1 per tick, which is definitely able, you can definitely heal through that. But they do eventually need to get out, so that is their next plan, it looks like. I don't know if they have any more opposition to worry about, but it looks like they eliminated all of it. I didn't catch the entire fight there, so you guys probably know better than I as to if there's still people around, but they do get out. Clutch MJ electing to heal inside the storm instead of outside. Probably would have been just as effective to do that outside, but just a couple of health probably won't make a difference. Although we say that now, and I hope that I did not did not jinx Clutch MJ. Although he can't hear me, so no harm, no foul. Looks like they found another person hiding in a bush. Does get that elimination. Just racking up those additional points for the season. They did really well last time, and they're going to try to do it once again this time around. Swim now using that bush to heal as well. You can see that the bushes almost completely cover their character model, but they are still able to be seen. And now the Eagles are looking pretty good right now. They do not have a full team, but that has not stopped them in the past. And Clutch MJ getting a bunch of those materials. Clutch MJ and Swim both getting into separate cars here, but it looks like they're just using it to get around a little bit faster and stopping at the gas station maybe to fill up. They do have a reboot station, but they don't really need it as none of their players have been eliminated yet. But the storm is once again moving in, so they're going to have to get in one of those cars and make their way towards the center of the map. Looks like they're going to choose the blue sedan. Not the best off-road choice, but in Fortnite it does not really matter. Looks like Swim is the driver for the car, while the rest of them are just taking a back seat and going along for the ride till they get towards the center. The players remaining is down to 34 now, and so they're getting up there in terms of that end game part here. So this move from the storm is probably going to be the deciding factor for a lot of these next engagements. It's going to be such a small circle compared to the last few that they're really not going to be able to avoid fighting here. Alright, gonna get back into the car. Clutch MJ does get hit by the car and get launched upwards. Thankfully, it does not do too much damage, and Swim's trying to drive up the side of that tree, but that is not going to work. And it looks like they're going to take a little bit of an outside approach. They do hear some gunfire over the side, and they're trying the enemy team does try to get him, but wow, Clutch MJ gets that. Wow, that was an incredible shot right in the air. Just a couple of shots with that AR, it takes him down, and now they are into the next engagement here. So they get out of the car, start building, because they are in the center of the current circle, so they don't really have anything to fear until it starts moving again. Clutch MJ getting a couple more shots in there. Swim also using that AR to try to delete some of their structures so they don't have any cover for the rest of his team to put some more shots in. They do have the high ground advantage at the moment, so it is looking good for them as long as no one comes from the back. But since they do have the storm towards their back, they are pretty well protected against a flank here. It looks like actually the other team is getting flanked, which is good news for the Marbles, or for the Eagles. And Swim, you can see his crazy building skills, how he builds a tower in no time with a roof even to protect from those grenades. And I think they think that he's behind that tree. We'll see if that is the case. Swim putting a couple shots in, gets one, 24 to the shields. Still not getting through to the base health here, but Clutch MJ with a clutch shot there to get the knockdown, and now they're going to try to get the elimination, and they do so with ease. And so now there's probably only a couple of players left. There are 9 total players, 3 of which are on the Eagles because they have not lost a single person, and it looks like a last-ditch effort by the other team here. He's probably the last person on his team. Ooh, and get a Clutch MJ with another couple of nice shots there to get rid of his shields, and now the rest of Madison is not going to be relenting here. Wow, Swim with a headshot for that shotgun does 115 and for that elimination. And it looks like they are definitely getting the upper hand on the team this time. They're going to have to move again. Try not to look at Swim's screen just because of how fast he moves can be a little bit disorienting, but Clutch MJ really going in there with the bomb to move, to propel him forward, trying to not let these guys escape, and he actually finds someone else, gets one shot off, not trying to get any eliminations there, just trying to deplete some of their resources. And now that they are in the new circle, they're gonna be finding a bunch of new people here. There is only 8 players remaining, and the Eagles have done really well so far, and they are going to look to not get second place this time, but try for that victory royale. We'll see how that turns out for them though, but I think they have a pretty good chance here. They have some very good weapons, and they're keeping to the outskirts of these circles so they're not able to get flanked. And the players just trying to get a little bit more resources. They used a lot in those last couple of fights, so taking some time to replenish some of those is going to be useful. It looks like Clutch MJ wants to go towards that middle building over there, while Swim scouts around with that bow. And a couple of shots go in. He does build up a wall. You can see that they're over in that other structure over there, and Swim is going to maybe build a fortress. It looks like a lot of editing going on. You see that Chef Yeti is over to the other side, and Clutch MJ is going to come over and use Swim's infrastructure to try to get some cover. And you can see on Clutch MJ's side, you can see the destruction happening over to the other side of the building from another team trying to fight it out. So there are definitely 2 teams still alive, which means that the Eagles here do most likely have a numbers advantage. And it looks like they're definitely on the retreat. It might have only been 1 person on that team, because since we have 8 players remaining, 3 of which are on our team, that means that there has to be at least 2 other teams here, but none of them are at full health, full strength. And they're just taking it slow, just moving up very slowly. They're once again in the next circle that's about to happen, and so this is really where Swim's building can come in handy here, because they're able to build these giant fortresses right in the middle where they have to be approached. There's no other way about it. The enemy team is going to have to approach this structure, and with all of these walls here and all this protection, the favor is definitely in the side of Madison. When Clutch MJ with that little side window gets 1 shot off, it's into the blue, so they still do have shields, but all things considered, any amount of shots in are good. You can see that actually 2 other teams are trying to fight against each other, or maybe that's actually just one of the AI are fighting on the side of the Eagles here, which is not a bad choice. Oh, and you can see that someone set the structure on fire, so that might be getting deleted, but it looks like the fire actually went out. Ooh, and Swim does get shot. He was trying to eliminate some of his their structures there, but he was found out. And it looks like there is a AI that is going to be disrupting this final fight here. Ooh, and you got those bombs coming in from the other team there. The Madison team is going to have to move up here pretty soon. There's no two ways about it. The storm is going to move in the next 30 seconds. So it looks like Clutch MJ is going to take a preemptive strike here and perhaps move forward a little bit. And the storm will be approaching. You can see that AI is kind of in the middle of the two teams, so no teams are really able to move up here, but the Madison are tunneling over to avoid that AI and the enemy fire at the same time. Clutch MJ getting a little bit stuck, but building over it without any problems. And you can see that now Madison's actually on the side of the next storm movement. So when the storm moves again in 22 seconds, they're going to have that advantage. So they're probably going to wait for that to occur before they make a major move here. You can see they're right off against the other side. Ooh, gets one shot by Clutch MJ. Does quite a bit of damage, 49 to the shields. But they are actually running out of ammo here, so they're going to have to... There we go. Someone just shared some ammo there, and now Clutch MJ is going back up the elevator to the top. And it's unfortunate that none of the Eagles players have any explosives, because they would very easily be able to destroy their structures and win this fight. But it's just going to be a fight between the two. And wow, Clutch MJ gets the knockdown on one of them through the wall, perhaps with the help of Swim and Chef Yeti. And Madison is looking pretty alright here. It looks like there are definitely two teams left, and the Madison team is not one of them that is getting flanked, thankfully, this time. So Clutch MJ and Swim are going for the elimination, going forward, gets a one shot off there. And they're doing the high-low strategy here. Clutch MJ up on the high ground while the other two Madison players are down below, making sure that they have both the low and the high ground advantage. And wow, this is honestly just a ginormous fortress at this point. There is not a whole lot, and looks like Swim actually does get the drop on them, but the storm is coming in, but they're not going to be able to stay in there for very long, so they're just going to trap them in there and eliminate them. Looks like they did, or they're just going to let the storm take its toll on them. So now there's only one player left that's not on the Eagles team, so they just need to get one more elimination and they will win. It looks like Clutch MJ does get a very nice shot in on there. He does get shot himself, but still at 62 health, and Swim actually from below takes out the floor and does get that victory royale for the Eagles. A fantastic display, winning the entire game with only 3 out of the 4 players is no small feat, that is for sure. And because of that very long fight, we are running a little late for the silver, so I don't have too much time for a post-game recap, but we will be right back with the silver games very shortly here.
Hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling. this high. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, I'm with you. That I get when looking down from this high. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, can't give up this feeling. Can't give up this Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, I'm with you. That I get when looking down from this high. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off this fear. It's me now. Can't get off. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, I'm with you. That I get when looking down from the sky. It's me now. Can't give up this feeling. It's me now. Can't give up this feeling. It's me now. Can't give up this feeling. It's me now. Can't give up. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, can't give up this feeling. Can't give up this Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, I'm with you. That I get when looking down from the sky. It's me now. Can't give up this feeling. and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from the sky. Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, can't give up this
Alrighty, and here we go. Sorry about the delay. We had Mr. Sporty crash a couple times, so we don't have his perspective, unfortunately, because we had to reset the stuff, but we do still have the perspectives of the three you see in front of you. You got Magic Cat, Case Cat, and Swabi here, and they are going to decide to land over at the docks, it looks like. And so starting off here, we'll go to the perspective of Magic Cat to begin with, and they look like they're not falling with too many oppositions here. It looks like there is one below them, so Magic Cat and the rest of the Madison team is going to have to take that into account. They're not going to want to go down there without finding a weapon first, so we'll see how they deal with this. Going over to Swabi, it looks like he does have a couple of weapons here, so he might have to come back for the rest of his team here and try to protect him, as Magic Cat is a little bit on his own without any weapons. Case Cat as well does have quite a few stuff. We have Magic Cat does find a couple of bandages, but nothing in terms of weaponry yet. And you see there's a bunch of chests around him. He's going to try to find where those are to try to get some more weaponry so he can defend himself. And to go to Swabi, once again, still trying to find some stuff. I don't know if they have found that other player that they saw enter into one of the things, although someone did just ping the danger, so they probably do find him. Oh, it looks like actually Case Cat ended up eliminating him here while we weren't watching, and it was just a knockdown, so there's definitely still some players left. Oh, and he does find another one. Oh, that might have been an AI, but nope, it wasn't, and he does get that elimination as well. So a great job by the Madison team thus far. Moving over to Magic Cat. Swabby, all the same story. Looks like that is definitely an AI as well, so should not be too difficult to take down, and he does do it with style as well. Swabby with the elimination. It's not too shabby for a start for the Madison team here. It looks like Swabby does see someone else, but maybe not all the way across the way, but there's no way he's going to reach that with his shotgun, that is for sure. We'll go back over to Case Cat, still exploring the docks, trying to find a little bit more weaponry here. They have got a nice spot for themselves over here, and will like to take advantage of that before they move closer towards the storm. They're going to have to eventually, 35 seconds till the storm starts moving along, and sometime before that they're going to have to start making a move for it, probably with a car or some sort of vehicle, I would have to guess. Sorry about that. While I was clearing my throat, it looks like they did get another elimination there, and that was probably the last one on their team because there is no one else in sight, although there have been bigger surprises. They are going to need to move closer towards the end. It looks like they did find another player as well and instantly knock him down, and Madison is just on a roll at the moment, getting a bunch of eliminations right off the bat here, which is very surprising considering they are on the very far end of the map right now, but looks like a lot of other teams had that same idea. And it looks like they're actually not too far from the next circle, the edge of which you can see on the top right mini-map there. It's not too far away. We have 45 players remaining in the match, and so the Madison team is off to a good start. Not a whole lot happening. It looks like they might have eliminated everyone in the Sweaty Sands area, and maybe going to pick one of the cars to use to get some materials, it looks like, instead of using them for their intended purpose. But that metal will definitely come in handy in the future when they start getting into those engagements and need those strong walls and floors in order to get that advantage. So I'll be looking like he wants to try to go through the wall, but that's not going to happen, as the rest of his team are just collecting all of the scraps that were left over from the initial scan of the area. And they really have nothing too concerning to worry about right now, so they're just taking a moment, a little breather, it looks like, to trade some of the weaponry. And you still have a minute. You can see the storm is slowly approaching, but they have plenty of time. It looks like Swabby's just testing out that incendiary bow. It looks like they do find yet another person here. They're going to go head on with him. It looks like he's all alone, so that other player is not going to want to fight here, and looks like he is going to try to escape, but might not be that easy against the Marbles team. And wow, that Swabby with a single shot there to eliminate him. Moving over to that split screen. Unfortunately, can't get Mr. Sporty halfway in through the game to get his perspective, but the rest of the Marbles team is looking good so far. It looks like there's another vehicle that they see in the distance, a couple of them actually, quite a few players. And so this is going to be a big engagement right now. They got to be careful now. There's a lot of things going on as well as the storm moving in. Swabby taking a bunch of shots at him, and the enemy player does get out. And there looks like there's a dinosaur. Didn't know those things were in the game, but apparently they are. And the Madison team is getting surrounded at the moment. Swabby trying to keep himself alive with the raptor coming along as well, and gets that elimination, but does get eliminated himself afterwards. Again, not a seasoned veteran of Fortnite, but I have not seen any raptors coming around lately, but that is what ends up being their downfall. But they did get quite a few eliminations there, so not too shabby for the Madison team, and they placed 13th. So we shall be right back once the second match for the Silver team gets underway.
Those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, this high. those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, I'm with you, that I get when looking down from this high. Those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, I'm with you, that I get when looking down from this high. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't headlights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from this high. Those headlights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, can't give up this
Alrighty, and welcome back for the final match for the silver team. We finally got Mr. Sporty back, and so we have all four able to be seen this time around. They're just in the pregame lobby here waiting for the bus to take off, and then we will be on our way. The Madison team did fairly well last time, and so I have some high hopes for them here. The time limit for this game is going a little bit overboard, so I believe all of the teams were encouraged to drop near the center, but we'll see how the Madison team goes this time. Looks like they're going down the center, but near the end location, it looks like. And so they will be off very shortly here. And looks like they now fall. Mr. Sporty is the only one who is still in the bus. He is the last to drop down, so he better be going down very fast here in order to catch up with the rest of his team. Case Cat looks like he might be the first one to deploy, and a couple of other players are now going to this location as well, although I think they decided otherwise. You can see their quick decision to turn around, although looks like a couple are still coming. So this is going to be a hot and spicy drop here, and so we'll see how the Madison team fares. We have seen them do well in those engagements when they have the proper materials, but when they just drop down like this, they really only have the basic weapons that they initially start off with. Although Case Cat right there gets a nice set of items there, gets some of those shields again, then also has an assault rifle, gets the green assault rifle actually, which is even better. So they somehow haven't encountered the other players quite yet. They're probably just in a different building. Looks like Mr. Sporty is calling that out to the rest of his team. A good shot call for them, for sure. The number one priority for them right now is should be identifying where the enemy team is so that they're able to get the drop on them, because if they don't do that, then they're going to be surprised, and that's never a good way to start the fight. So it looks like everyone does have weapons of some kind at this point, which is definitely the first step. Case Cat does find a very nice chest there and gets that purple bow as well, which is going to help them out in those long range engagements. Not necessarily right now on the sweaty sands. I don't believe, as it's all like an urban landscape at the moment. Mr. Sporty a little bit farther away from his team as the rest of the Marvels try to get those shields up to full, and some gunshots were fired. You can see the indicators on Mr. Sporty's screen there, and they do end up finding, they believe they're in that house. Makes sense to me. And you saw a couple of shots whiz past Case Cat there just then. We'll move to his perspective perhaps to begin with here, and it looks like the enemy team is going to start moving up. You can see some of them are right up in their face, and one shot goes down. That bow is not that great for the short range cases, but wow, Case Cat with that clutch shot right there gets him right in the knee, and it does take him out for that first elimination. And so moving over to Swabby, he's right up in it with that submachine gun, and they've trapped him, the enemy, in this little box here, so they're going to have to eventually get him out. But it looks like they do eliminate him. One of the other team members got that elimination, and so now Madison is looking good, and they got those monster truck wheels on the truck as well, so they're able to go over any terrain, and that's probably going to be their number one priority now that they have eliminated everyone in the sweaty sands, is what this one's called. And so now they're going to be looking towards moving to the circle. Although now that I think about it, looking at their minimap, it looks like they might already be inside of it. So they got lucky with their drop and won't have to move if they don't want to. I haven't seen anyone check their minimap yet, so I can't tell you exactly where that circle is, but as soon as someone does, we'll be able to see exactly where they need to go. But since we don't see an arrow or a white line pointing from their minimap, we know that they are inside the circle somewhere. We just don't know where exactly. So moving over to Mr. Sporty, not too much is going to happen since they eliminated everyone in this location. Now they're going to be able to focus more on trying to get more of those materials, see if they're able to upgrade any of their guns as well for the fights to come. Collecting those materials is going to be imperative for the fights to come as well, because once you get into the final circle, there's not much room or places to hide, so you kind of got to make your own cover, and that's exactly what they are going to plan for. So Mr. Sporty getting some of those, the wood and brick. Wood, unfortunately, is able to be burned by a lot of the weapons in the later games, so it's not as great. So getting some of that steel and brick is definitely going to help them in the later game. And it looks like Case Cat actually is finding some pretty good stuff, getting some grenades, which could be used to great effect when in that late game trying to destroy some of those structures, although he can't really find a place to put them, it doesn't look like, and he's going to leave the grenades in place for a pistol. And it looks like he may have seen someone over yonder in that evil looking cave volcano thing, so they might be heading towards that next. So moving to the split screen just to see what everyone's doing. Like I said, not too much going on. Magic Cat did end up finding a car and might pick up the rest of his team, although there's not that much fuel. Well, actually, he's got full fuel on that one with the nice tires on it. So he's got the fully upgraded car here ready to move out. Although he's got to go pick up his team members before he does that. Although he might just be doing a little bit of a scouting run before he brings the rest of his team in. And it looks like Swabby's going fishing, trying to get those shields topped off. Case Cat does need a little bit more shields. The rest of the marbles are looking pretty decent. Got at least 50% for the rest of them. And it looks like they're going to try to kill this AI here. Might give them something powerful, although he does seem to teleport around. Not sure what character that is, but if they do eliminate him, they'll most likely get some gold and some weapons. Got that primal rifle and that thing. Whatever that is, but Case Cat seems to really want it, so we'll see how it's used. Looks like it used it for some extra jumping capabilities, maybe prevents the fall damage. Not entirely sure, haven't seen this relic looking thing in a game of Fortnite before, but we shall learn what it does together today, it seems, as Case Cat is going to be bringing this thing, although it doesn't look like he's able to use any of his weaponry while he's holding this thing. So yeah, it looks like maybe he won't be bringing it to wherever they're going. And you can now see where the new circle is. They're right at the edge of it. We saw last game for the golds, they really used the edge of the storm to their advantage, keeping that towards their back just so that they aren't able to be flanked as easily, but making sure that they're always outside of it so they don't take that damage. So they got to pick up the rest of their team. They only got 2 people in the car right now. Swabby and Mr. Sporty still swapping out guns, getting some more of the loot. Ooh, and Swabby just found that gold assault rifle. A perfect pickup for him, as well as another potion or another shield potion for Case Cat to use to get those shields up to the rest of his team here. And Magic Cat, however, is taking once again a little bit of a scouting run. Accidentally aggroed the AI, so now he's gonna probably have to run away from that one. No making deals with that person anymore, as he just ran him over with a car. I guess I probably wouldn't take a deal with someone who ran me over either, but looks like Madison should be pretty much done checking out the rest of the area. There are 27 players left in the game, including the 4 from Madison. And Magic Cat really beat up that car. You can see it's already smoking at half health as well. So they may not want to use this car in the long run, as it's going to explode pretty easily, and that could definitely result in a wipe. And you can see Case Cat trying to climb the spire, but it's just not going to happen. That's too steep. And Swabby, however, getting that, wow, a fantastic shot with that bow to get quite a lot of damage off on one of the players that is using a boat and the water to keep up their mobility. You can see they're now coming up towards them here. Case Cat is coming back to assist the rest of their team, it looks like. Although, like I said, the car exploded, taking off almost all of his health there. But Swabby and Case Cat do take down the one player. Looks like there's a couple more coming through the water. That's definitely not a place you want to be when we're talking about an engagement. Being on the shoreline is definitely an advantage rather than trying to make your way through the water, as you're just a lot slower. And you can see the Madison team is just picking them off like fish in a barrel here, although there's another battle going on over at the other side of the map. So we have 2 split battles here. Looks like we have Swabby and Case Cat were together, then Magic Cat and Mr. Sporty were together, but it looks like Magic Cat and Mr. Sporty did go down. Swabby and Case Cat are going to have to get those reboots and eliminate this other team here. Swabby, however, is super low, as well as Case Cat. They kind of got split up by the other teams here, but Case Cat does have a... Ooh, but he did not able to use it. He did have a med kit that he could have used, but they did place 6th, and that is definitely not a bad stat. They did get a few eliminations as well for those extra points you can see on the screen. We got Swabby with 1 elimination. Same with Mr. Sporty. Case Cat is not looking at his recap. He got 3 eliminations. So overall, not a bad placement at all. And they'll probably end up using this second game for their placements. Like I have said in the past, only one of the 2 games will count towards their scoring, just so they can take the best of 2 because of Fortnite's unpredictability with some players getting kicked or some players crashing right before the start. So with that, I believe the Madison team is done. We won't have time to watch the rest of the teams play it out, but Madison is done for the day. We will be going on to Overwatch very shortly here. And we will transition to that right away. So thanks for tuning into the Fortnite section of XP League Madison. Just a reminder to everyone at home that we do have a tournament coming up for the Madison area Youth Esports Championship. The qualifiers are being held on April 25th on that Sunday between 2 and 5 p.m. You can visit the Facebook page for XP League Madison in order to find the link to sign up for that. And then the actual tournament will be held on May 16th. The winners of that will get prizes, but on top of that, the main prize being that you'll be able to be placed on a regional team that will be going, well, hopefully going to nationals in August. So make sure to check that out. If you have any questions, you can always email us at madisonwi@xpleague.gg. So for now, have a good weekend, and we'll be right back with some Overwatch.